What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop podcast live, aka spoiler alert, episode 779, maybe? Might be 78, where we review the past week's comics as well as talk about fun pop culture topics for your listening and viewing pleasure. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo, of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street in Philadelphia, PA. A super rad shop which caters to you. You're a jerk, in which case don't be a jerk. Joining me tonight is Noel Bartocci and Brian Lieb. What is up, my nerds?
How much?
Hey, anyone?
Yeah. What's up with you? That's what I'm here to find out.
I was just making sure that the numbers were off, and they are.
Oh, they
We're
are.
off to a great start. Everybody is
the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers. Yeah, I just
internet looks terrible. I've got three spinning wheels with black.
Oh, I don't know if that's our internet.
I can see Brian really well. I can see you really well. I can hear you guys. Is everything all right?
Oh, no. Everybody's spinning on my end and getting.
We're spinning.
Getting stuck.
That's cool.
We're just gonna keep going. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you like what we're doing, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And also, just definitely do the comment thing. Like, pipe up in the live chat. Do it! Is anybody chatting? Yes. Robert Monroe. What?
I said it was a little rough. It doesn't matter. Keep going.
What did Robert Monroe Jr. have to say, though? That's the thing.
Oh, he said, "Good evening, Cult Poppers. Are you looking forward to Doctor Strange next week? I might be going to a midnight showing. I am looking forward to Doctor Strange, and I'm jealous of your midnight showing. We don't have midnight showings around here anymore. And when I was growing up, midnight showings were my favorite things. There's an event. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of hula. People dress up sometimes. It was awesome.
There's no midnight show.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. It's kind of cool that you guys have them near you, though.
I didn't know that they had stopped doing them.
And everyone's frozen but me.
I wonder when that happened.
They still do them.
We have letters, I think.
What is the letter? What are the letters? Ooh. Do you have the letter, no?
I don't.
Oh, he texted it to us.
Did he?
If only, like last week.
No.
Well, all right.
In regards to midnight showings, yes.
Yeah.
I think we still do midnight showings. Our local theater, and I say local between like the closest Philadelphia area, doesn't. But right outside the city, they still do midnight shows. But it's,
like
why go? Yeah, why go to a midnight show though when all these big movies have, like, they now start Thursdays at 7 and 8 and 9,
which are all
and 10
counted
and
in
11.
the weekend opening gross.
Yeah, so like that idea of you got to wait till the clock strikes midnight before you're allowed to see one of these movies.
No,
it doesn't really exist anymore.
It crept forward. Soon Friday midnight will be on Tuesday.
Yeah, so like the midnight show where people all dress up and go crazy. I mean, shit, doesn't like Marvel do fan watches now too, like 3 or 4 days early? So like that's where people go crazy and dress up and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also you can just see it whenever you want to now, and you don't have to wait in line. Like midnight shows used to be packed with a line for 4 hours before the movie if it was a really big movie and people are dressing up and people are excited about it. Now, which I love, they have assigned seating and you just pick the seat ahead of time and you go straight in. And it's great. You don't have to wait there in line. So we lose.
I do. Oh.
Hi.
You removed Brian?
I didn't touch it. I'm not touching it. That was not me.
The first time wasn't me, but that was me.
Here we are. Some weird thing must have happened. So you lose the excitement of waiting in line, but you do at least still have you have the midnight showings, and the trade-off of being able to walk right in is something that I would far prefer.
I am no less a fan and no less excited because I get to pick my seat 2 weeks in advance. Exactly. I actually think that's makes me more excited as a human being
Yeah.
than the bum rush of getting in line and pushing forward or standing there waiting for people to clean the auditoriums from the show before. I don't miss those days to get seats. No, not at all.
I don't even have to see all the trailers. You know, if you don't want to, you just cut it real close.
I do love trailers.
I like trailers too, but sometimes I'm cutting it real close for other time management related reasons. So, you know, showing up at a place on the schedule.
Midnight showings, a bygone era, or it's no longer condensed to just the midnight show. Now it's like spread out. So it's
Our Moon is in the chat saying, I used to see midnight shows all the time, but lately they have been shown early, 8 p.m. ish the night before. Yeah, ours are usually like at 7 p.m., which is nowhere near as cool as midnight.
I mean, you can still wait to see it at midnight. They still do the midnight, I think.
Where?
Not like not far from us. They don't at our most local theater. They don't. But King of Prussia and Flower Town and stuff, they still do midnight shows for big stuff. But it's but the what we were just talking about when you were jumping in and out, the value of it is diminished because you can see it 4 or 5 hours before that. So it's not the collective like holding your breath to be the first to wait. That doesn't really exist anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
So like midnight showings have lost their value. It's just an hour.
And Kevin says, didn't even realize Strange was that close. Same.
Yeah, kind of snuck up.
Noah was in the shop. Noah was in the shop today, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Strange is next week." And I was like, "What? Who? How?
Who?"
I'm crazy excited for it because of Sam Raimi. Yeah, I'd like that's just the 100%. Crazy excited.
We've both been revisiting the Evil Dead films because of the Halloweenies podcast. Yeah,
indeed.
Which everyone should go listen to.
Hey, we have an email, but I don't know if it was read before. By Charles and Meta New. It was called Pie Hole.
Yes.
Is that familiar?
No.
I saw it, but it was not read on the show last week. We have it pristine to be read now.
Here we go. Pie Hole. Hey guys, it's your boy Charles in Chattanooga, aka Hal2814, aka the Green Lantern Triple, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, last week there was a lot of talk about pie holes. So being the person that I am, I decided to go on a certain adult website and type in the search bar. Let's just say videos came up dealing with cream filling, and I'll leave it at that. Sorry if I don't make it to the live show tonight because of the Batman just dropped on HBO Max, and I thought it would be later in the month. Maybe I'll pause it and check in. It's not like I didn't already watch it in the theater. Later, spoiler alert. So yeah, Batman did it. Again, I didn't realize it was going to happen so quickly, and then it did. Batman dropped.
It did.
Did you guys all revisit it?
I did not. I haven't rewatched a movie of my own volition in quite some time, actually. Yeah. The Batman is one that I might do. We'll see.
I haven't had time. Yeah. It's been when it dropped last Monday. I mean, I can't remember anything I've consumed content-wise in the last week other than these comics we're going to talk about excitedly tonight.
Oh my God, we're going to talk about some comics. Let's friggin' do it. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, #2 from DC Comics by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. The Man of Steel and the Dark Knight have arrived at the compound of Niles Calder, the chief in charge of that strange band of misfits known as the Doom Patrol. But all is not as it seems. While Batman works with Niles to cure Superman of his freakish transformations, a side mission to track a mysterious figure known as the Demon attracts the Dark Knight's attention. And moreover, it could have some connection to Superman's poisoning at the hands of Metallo. Its danger, intrigue, and the surprise appearance of Deadman, not in Chapter 2 of World's Finest, because I don't think that happened.
It's such a surprise. You didn't see it, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Are a bitch, man.
Jesus. Deadman does not show up. And I like how they're like the demon in quotes. Like Batman and Superman already have demons. Like we've already, the demon's head, Ra's al Ghul. We've got the demon Etrigan.
Yeah. I thought that was the demon they were talking about. Or I guess they mean the demon that actually did show up. Okay.
Yeah, the demon that was in the book you read. Yeah. That's the one.
Well, Deadman was not in the book.
That's true.
If he was, they shouldn't have spoiled it like that. The surprise appearance.
Etrigan showed up in another book I read this week that we're not reviewing, but everyone should read Catwoman Lonely City.
Oh, right.
Etrigan was in that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did you guys think of this? This was awesome.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Brian agree. No, go.
I think it was just fantastic.
It wasn't awesome. Well. It was just fan. You were not in awe?
No, I wasn't in awe. I think it was really fun though. And I want a full issue of just Dick Grayson and Kara being assholes to each other.
That was the best scene in the book.
The fact that Mark Waid has kind of created a his Girl Friday kind of relationship between the two of them bickering. I was like, not only do I want more of this, are they gonna kiss at the end of it?
Yeah.
Like I
of course.
Fucking awesome. It was straight up awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, his Robin, plus the way Dan Mora draws Robin.
Yes.
Great. He draws a great Robin, man. Very cool.
The art in the whole book is awesome.
I mean,
it's very comic-y, you know, just like iconically comic style art. And also I love this Mark Waid DC Universe story, you know, through the lens of Superman and Batman, just seeing various aspects of DC is great. And he's handling it well. I remember mentioning Brave and the Bold last week, and Noel, since then you've found it, right? The Mark Waid Brave and the Bold. Nice.
Yeah, and it was the last time we talked about this. Yeah, but more. I mean, it's not even really a knock or a dig at the book. There's one story device that didn't work for me last time. Still doesn't really work for me now. I'm trying to get like not a handle on it, but I think a couple issues in it'll be fine. But they very often so go back one page, go back 2 pages actually. The one before that. Yep. So here, it's a wonderful scene of Bruce and Cal kind of, you know, pull through friend, and they do these one panel flashbacks to previous non-related kind of adventures that they have in order to kind of like, if it was a movie, it would be a smash cut to, you know, almost a this one specifically on this page is kind of jarring, and I stared at it for a while to kind of figure out, where are they? Are they inside of a body? Are they underwater? So like this one kind of threw me off, but then the next one I was like, that's fine. So it's not really a problem, and it doesn't throw me off. It's just like, I wish that panel was clearer. And the last issue had 2 or 3 of them like that, where it was, are we jumping back and forward in time? Oh no, these are supercuts. Okay, cool. Like it's just a narrative device that is only 75% working for me, but it doesn't ruin the book. So, I mean, maybe it'll ease out. I don't know.
So the thing that confused me about this particular issue, and I agree with you about the point you just made about that one panel where I was like, wait, what? Oh, it's a flashback. What are they doing? Where are they? Who's doing? What's going on? But then I just moved on with it, and now it's fine. Yeah. This one, you know, when they said that they were going to have what's his nuts?
Negative Man.
Larry. Negative Man, yeah. Go through and wipe out all of the particles of kryptonite, red kryptonite, in Superman's bloodstream.
Yeah.
In my head, he was a normal sized Negative Man just walking through. You know what I mean? Just kind of clearing it. I didn't realize he was becoming microscopic and going through his veins. It seemed like it would have been an easier way to do that.
Right, just deal with the radiation in a larger way. That's what I thought too. I figured he was, he's Negative Man, he'll do it. And they're like, you only have 1 minute. And I'm like, that's plenty of time. He's got time. And then, it wasn't until that page that I was like, I guess, you know, Batman's telling you how far it is. He's going through it. Now, in terms of super feats, I really liked how they came up with the way to get out of Felix Faust's energy shackles. You know, classic Batman super, you know, he's like, Batman, do something. You're the escape artist. He's like, well, they're energy shackles. But what if you whistle? And he whistles at like an infrasonic, which I think is a real thing. Not 100%.
He's
sure.
whistling in infrasound. The military uses it as a weapon, inaudible, but creating extreme vertigo and paralyzing muscle cramps.
Yeah, like that's a really good use of a Superman power that isn't its own power. He's just doing something that he can do. You know.
Yep.
There's
cool.
there's a style of this book that I think in another book I would not like, but here it works. The pace is so frenetic, it's just exhausting. But
Really?
I like it. Yes,
Huh.
they started with Metallo, and in less than 2 issues, they have gotten into an ancient demon, a goddess, time travel, the Doom Patrol, and Dr. Faust.
And Billy Batson.
And Billy Batson.
No,
I don't feel it. Exhausting was probably the wrong word. In a lesser book, this would be Whiplash, and I would hate it.
Oh, okay.
But the tone is just so frenetic and so quick and overlaps on itself. It doesn't give time to at all really settle.
It's kind of light in a way. You know, it's like almost a breezy book.
It feels like. Have you ever read those? What is it when the creative teams like just do one issue and then leave a cliffhanger, and then the next writer has to kind of fill in the gaps, and then try to like not mess up the next one or just like put them in a like. This does feel like a yes and kind of storyline, just like, and what if they did this? Well, yeah. Well, what if they did this? Yeah. What if this person showed up? Like it feels like it just keeps building in a I dare you kind of way. Like, what corner do you want to play with of the DC universe now?
I think it's the tour of the DC universe aspect is that, you know, it's like, we're going to hit everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Well, not everybody.
And in a lesser book by less kind of like confident creators, I think that would be a fucking mess. Here, it's great.
Yeah.
I
like the Billy Batson thing. You can't talk.
Yeah. This page here where Supergirl and Robin are flying, the way it's drawn is a slow, casual, meandering flight. But then, hang on, we're breaking the time barrier. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Right? Like their positioning looks like a very slow.
Yeah. Like, how is she even holding him? And that's definitely not top speed kind of grip on his cape and shoulder. Yeah.
Well, but then it took me until after that scene because they didn't explain what they were doing beforehand. They were just like, you're going to need a detective, bring him with. And then it was like, oh, she sees tachyons and they're going towards a rift. Like, what the fuck? Okay.
No, let's do it. He's like, you got to go back and you got to meet these guys. I'm going to call Supergirl.
It happens so fast.
All right.
Yeah.
Everything in this book happens so fast. It was like one line of dialogue. Sorry. I'm used to... We're used to what? Deconstructed stories constantly?
Yeah.
There is a lot of that. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it's not... Okay, she says we're breaking the time barrier, but really she was just looking for a rift.
Yeah.
Was she looking for
because she's holding that thing that has existed for thousands of years, she's able to like use it almost as like a tuning fork. And she could see tachyons. So they're just like going towards wherever there's a rift.
Okay, so it's not like they're the way I was thinking of it, we're breaking the speed barrier or the light barrier or whatever.
And
it's usually a fast thing.
Yeah, that's how Superman usually does it. Is like, I'm getting up to speed, and now I'm going to fly through the rings that say years on them.
This is more, we're just going to casually drift into this rift. Okay. Tokyo drift.
Did Dan Mora also do the art for the flashbacks? Because I don't see another artist listed. So
that's him.
He did a completely different style. It's just dope.
Isn't that cool?
It's almost like a Yannick Paquette kind of loose. It's awesome. Yeah.
There it is. Very cool. Anyway, I love this book.
Yeah.
It's a great book. I have no. Yeah.
Top book for me.
Guys, this is Batman Universe. This is the book that you could.
That's what I said. Yeah. I think I said that during part 1 for sure. Awesome. And if anyone's out there who hasn't read Batman Universe,
it's good.
Do it. Was it Brian Michael Bendis and Nick Darrington?
Ooh, Nick Darrington. I think maybe the first place that I saw Nick Darrington was.
Oh, no kidding. Nice.
I think so. I might have seen him on like something small before a cover or something, but I think so.
Next up, Captain America #0 from Marvel Comics, written by Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, and Tochi Onyabuchi?
I think so.
With art by Mattea de Lulis. When Arnim Zola launches a catastrophic attack on New York City, he meets his match in Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers. In the explosive battle that follows, two Cap Americas prove better than one, and Sam and Steve decide they might just keep a good thing going. So, what does that mean? So, Sam Wilson went back to being the Falcon, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, after
so why is he in a Captain America suit in the beginning of this again?
You remember there was the United States of Captain America.
Yeah.
I did not finish that.
Neither did I, but we did for the show read one where he, for some reason, decides to put on the Captain America costume, and I think during the show we were like, "Why would he?" There was some question about why.
Yeah. It wasn't like for some reason. Like the next panel, Steve legitimately asked him, like, "I think this is going to need more than just more than one Cap."
Oh no!
It was,
you know what it was?
It was convoluted and it was pretty heavy-handed, but it wasn't just like a surprise.
It was heavy-handed. Yeah. The costume, for some reason that I'm remembering, is there is an imposter Cap, and Steve Rogers is like, I'm also going to wear that exact outfit. I'm going to change out of the one that I'm in. Or something. I forget.
Well, so the imposter Cap had his classic uniform.
Yeah.
He put on the stealth one, and
that's right.
So it was essentially a tour of the United States, catching this dude as an imposter, trying to do damage control as legitimate Captain's America.
For which he chose a different outfit than his regular Captain.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Convoluted, stupid. He's back in the costume. You're in.
They're both Captain.
All right.
Yeah.
This was fun. This felt like classic Cap. You know what? I can't say that. I can't say classic Captain America. I've never read classic Captain America. I started reading Cap on and off in the 90s, I think, with like issue 300 and stuff where they had brought in the agent to become Captain America.
The agent, yes.
Or the captain. No, he became the captain. That's what it was.
When Steve Rogers became the captain? Or the other became?
When the other guy became Captain America. Oh, that's right. And Steve became the captain. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But this was good Captain America inning. Captain American. Captain America 2.
Captaining Americas.
Yes, this was good captaining.
Yeah.
This was great. This was a lot of fun. This artist, I've never heard of him, but boy,
awesome.
What a good looking book, right?
Really
That's
good.
It's like top tier.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Really good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the art was phenomenal, and that carried me through a lot of it. Right, like not that the story was a regular Captain America story, you know.
Yeah.
But the art was exquisite. It was phenomenal. So I was interested. They do have one of the biggest fallacies in comics, right up there with someone can live and be thawed out if they are frozen solid, but like flash frozen by Mr. Freeze or whatever, is you can toss things right into the sun. You know? I'm just going to go get rid of this. Boom, now it's in the sun. Yeah. Arnim Zola has this rocket that once it hits the sun, everyone will be turned into Zolasaurs. And then he launches the rocket. So they have, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years before they need to get rid of it.
It's a fast rocket.
Now, that is true. The Marvel Universe, it could be a super fast rocket that maybe there has like a warp thing or
You're frozen again. Awesome.
Oh, I wonder who it is.
There you go.
Hey, excellent.
You wonder which one? What? You froze up. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. But it was great. Just watching this book happen was great. And Arnim Zola doing a crazy Arnim Zola thing. It was very classic Cap. The one thing I would have liked, remember when they crashed down on the shield? You know, like Sam's wings are busted, and I'm cool with that. I would have liked to see it skip a little, like skim over the water. Like it's kind of taking a lot to do this, and it would look cool. the shield absorbs kinetic energy. It's a bit of a stretch, but I can deal with that. Yeah, you agreed. Like it would have been cool to see it skim.
Well, no, I thought when that was a bridge too far for me. When they're falling from the atmosphere, they're about to go into space. That's how high up they are, and Sam's wings are busted, and so Steve is just like, "Hey, we'll both hop on my shield, and that will save us from being murdered by the ground."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, come on!"
A little too much.
Even Cap, I could understand. He's got a super soldier serum or something. Yeah. Sam's just a dude.
Yeah, he's just got those wings, right? He doesn't have any. Yeah.
So
now I thought they had made it a little farther down, or it hadn't gotten too high yet,
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's very much just like, boom, we fall right in the water, and now we're just floating in the water. It's fine.
If they had to do some sort of thing of like, oh, we'll have to aim our trajectory in such a way,
right? That way I can come right in on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though your wings are broken, maybe you can use them to like, slow down our descent or something.
Slow it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do something.
Or
Sam.
Steer us so we come in this way and not just straight down.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta hit it on the surface.
Yeah.
Also, when in the beginning, Arnim Zola's like, I have built this rocket ship within your capitalist building. I haven't broken any laws. I doubt that.
You just knocked over a building, bro. I don't think that's legal.
No. Although Zola has a lot of really good points. And sometimes I'm like, is Zola the hero of this book? Because he is saying a lot of very positive things, and the Captains America are not really countering them.
They're just ignoring it.
Yeah.
Zola is written in hi, how you guys doing?
Hey.
Zola's written in a kind of like with a tinge of like Elon Musk in this. With like a
Arnim Musk.
A just asking questions industrialist kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like burning it down to make it better kind of bullshit.
Also that scene where he bought Twitter in this issue.
Yeah. Why did he even buy it? He can take over computers.
What I'm sorry I missed the last couple of minutes. What did you guys think? You enjoyed this?
Really liked the art. Did you like the art?
I did a lot actually.
Yeah, it was awesome. This painted thing is very cool.
We did have some issues with the sequence where they're like, my wings are broken. Let's land on my shield after 400,000 feet.
Yeah. The only reason why I bought that was because the shields are supposed to be able to absorb all vibration.
The kinetic energy.
Yeah.
I still would have liked a little skimming action.
Well, there's as much as I liked the art, there's actually 2 or 3 kind of points where the action wasn't really very well staged. Especially like inside the rocket with Sam. There was a couple of like transitions where it was like, what blew up? What the fuck did you just do? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think it had him like that right there was one. The page that you flew past.
Lightly went by.
Like that are those panels, the 2 top panels, are they connected or are they transitions? Because there was an explosion and then and then what's shooting in the 3rd panel, I can't really tell. It was a little messy and to the point where it was like, whatever. He's bringing down a thing. That's fine. Keep going.
He's bringing it down.
Yeah.
Also, what hit him? What lightning bolt hit him? There's an explosion. Also, one lightning.
Yeah. It was like it was just kind of a fine. I do like the overall conceit. Like that scene that you had just passed there, the you're an old fogey kind of thing. Like the idea of Cap is supposed to be less, at least modern Cap is supposed to be less about what's the word I'm looking for? Not elitism. American. Well, I mean, jingoism is that works too. Supposed to be less that and more inspiring every day. Yeah. At least that's what they try and shoot for. Some writers are better at it than others.
Which I think has been a long time. Like you know, he quit being Captain America because of the state of America in what, like the 70s or
modern,
maybe even early.
like I would consider modern just like 75 on.
Oh, okay,
right,
yeah, all right,
not like just 2000,
right.
But yeah, since Grunwald on, less about like the might of America and more about the plight of Americans. Right? So I like when they kind of hammer that home, no matter how fucking hokey sometimes it is. Mark Waid and Chris Samney did it really, really well. Ta-Nehisi Coates did it really, really well. So I dig that.
Now, is anyone caught up on the end of the story was very cool, and then there's this epilogue, and some dude is saying, "Oh, a shame, Sam Wilson. You would have made a great Wakandan, perhaps a better leader than my brother." That seemed to me very out of place. I was like, "What is happening in this zero issue?" That, what's up?
Yeah, this is a lead-in to his book. At the end, they tell us Sam Wilson's adventures will continue in Captain America: Symbol of Truth. Sam Wilson picks up the shield once more and enters a world of trouble. Following a lead from Misty Knight, Sam intercepts a mysterious group hijacking what appears to be an empty train. As he digs deeper, he discovers that the plot may be connected to a crucial piece of the Captain America legacy and, surprisingly, Wakanda.
Something about where the vibranium for the shield came from.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I like, as a teaser, it's interesting enough, but it does one of those things that comics often do if you don't know everything and anything. It's I don't know if I'm supposed to recognize who that is or not, and because of that, the twist or reveal or tease has really no merit. It's just like, okay, cool, as opposed to, is that Zemo? You know, like stuff like that. Like there's no weight to this other than just dialogue.
Yeah, same here. I didn't know who that was or what he was talking about either. And then I got to the end and the solicitation for the next book, and I was like, oh, okay, that'll be explained.
The
other teaser was a little better.
Like White Wolf, I'm not even sure if in the comics is a brother to T'Challa, but is sometimes portrayed as that in other media.
Who's White Wolf?
He's at least in one of the cartoons, he was a white gentleman who is adopted, I think, by T'Chaka. And Martin Freeman is kind of like the MCU version of White Wolf, apparently.
No, Bucky really is. Bucky's actually called the White Wolf.
Oh, he is. That's true. Yeah. But this was before that had happened. But you're right. Gotcha. Yeah.
Noel, check the chat. But this was I enjoyed it. I think it was a good, solid zero issue for people who like Captain America. I think you get lots of Captaining America here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool glowing star at the end too on the shield.
Kevin says that White Wolf is T'Challa's half brother.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to reboot my computer because you guys are choppy as hell. So I'm gonna hopefully it'll fix my end of things.
Well, Action Figure Expert says, while you're rebooting, he says, "Hey, speaking of Captain America, what do you think about Chris Evans playing another movie role where his character is frozen for decades and later finds a descendant of a woman he wants you?" That's nice.
He wants new.
That he wants new. I don't know about that movie. I don't know what he's up to recently, but who knows what it's like when you're frozen for decades and you come back out and you meet somebody who is a descendant, and who's had that experience.
Is that an actual movie that's being?
I would assume so.
Hey, Action Figure Expert, share receipts. Like, what movie are you referring to?
Yeah. But
I mean, is that a hypothetical question? Like, what if you did the same trope again? Like, I don't know, Welcome to Hollywood. Or Welcome to Storytelling. There's no such thing as originality anymore. Just do it better. It's fine. Whatever.
Was there ever? That's the thing.
No.
In the old days, wasn't. I think what's really changed is not that there's no new stories. It's that we started demanding them. Like, Romeo and Juliet is a retelling of a previous story. Like, Shakespeare just retold an older story called, I think, Pyramus and Thisbe. And that was like, oh, I'm doing my version of that, set here and now. or is whenever, in Venice and whenever it was. And then it's just in the modern time that we're like, give us new stories. We don't want the same old stories anymore.
I don't know. It's one of the first things I was taught in college. There's no such thing as originality, so stop it. Just tell a good story. Like I'm pulling up the Google Docs for the notes, by the way.
Right on.
All narrative fiction is one of three stories. So there's three themes. There are three stories. 3. Man versus man, man versus nature, man versus himself. Everything could be subgrouped out of those. So it's either two opposing forces, it's one person trying to survive, it's one person fighting their demons. Like they're always just some sort of extrapolation from those 3 types of conflicts in all of narrative fiction.
What about a story with no conflict?
That's man versus himself.
But there's no verses. He's just like, he's happy, everything's cool.
Oh, then it still has some sort of drive, correct? Is the man trying to achieve something? No. If so, then it's man versus nature.
He's not. Everything he's good.
So you're just talking about cinema verite that has no narrative.
No conflict arc.
But if it has no conflict, then what's the purpose of the story other than just slice of life?
Escapism. Just to enjoy this other realm, this man's experience.
I think that sounds incredibly boring.
I'll see what I can do.
What type of fiction is that then?
What type of fiction is it? It could be any
or
type of
what
fiction.
what type of You said that there were 7. What is that?
Oh, what are the 7 stories? I don't know. No, I don't know. I have heard that the theory that there are 7 basic stories, but I don't. Like Boy Meets Girl is one of them, and Hero's Journey maybe is one of them. I forget what they are, but it's a little more delineated.
Any kind of internal. So the way I was instructed, any kind of internal, for lack of a better word, conflict and or progression is man versus himself, or some sort of subset of man versus himself, because it's an internal story. If there's no external force or external want that's articulated, it's still kind of a versus itself or of itself narrative, which is just a subset.
Yeah, I mean that is a schema to look at human stories from, and you could say that it over generalizes the categories, but it doesn't do it incorrectly. But some people might say like, well, but we can do it a little further and get something out of that, where there is Hero's Journey is a whole kind of story,
But it would, like, if it was from a foundation or from a root, then it would be like maybe one of those 3. The conflict of man versus nature, trying to fight their own demons within the force, and then there's also on top of that a layer of man versus man with the actual rebellion. Like they're all intertwined and or mixed and matched and then broken out along 3 acts of a hero's journey kind of thing, but it just always starts with like one of those 3 roots of the style of story
I would like to do or see a story that is conflict free and still good and interesting.
So this is gonna sound weird, but the most modern movie I know that successfully has absolutely no antagonist and there's conflict, but it's later on, is That Thing You Do.
Oh, I just rewatched that for the first time in many years.
There is no bad guy. However, a couple of the characters succumb to man versus themselves.
That's true.
So the conflict itself is, there's no external conflict. It's basically just like a life choice, delusion of grandeur, but there's no antagonist in the entire fucking movie.
The striving, kind of like
it's ambition and a mild greed and like delusion.
We want to make something, like we want to be this thing,
Yeah, so you can successfully have like no deliberate conflict, but there's always like inherent human nature conflict, and I think that just all falls under
right
versus themselves, whether it's ambition or
See, I could even see it as
mind.
like versus nature. Nature
It
in
could be
this
that
case
too.
being like the systems
culture
of society. Right, exactly.
The culture that they're existing in, where success is only in one way, and they are versus that.
Right,
like,
and they have to deal with the
that.
way that like the way that it ends, where Tom Hanks's character is like, don't worry, like you're let out of your contract, happens all the time. You know, you had a great success, and then you didn't go anywhere from there.
He could have been the antagonist, and even the movie was just like, no, that's not what we're doing. It's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway,
do you know Bryan Cranston has like 2 lines in that movie?
Yeah,
I did not. I was like, holy shit, it's Bryan Cranston.
We have comics to talk about.
We talk about whatever.
I feel as though a lot of people did come for comics, though.
I think they enjoy our little chats. They said they did,
but not.
Moved on to the next book yet?
Everything.
Here we go.
Right now.
Well, we were discussing action figure experts thing, and then others.
Oh, I see. Awesome.
Hulk number 6.
Yeah, Hulk number 6. You said it. Marvel Comics, Donny Cates, Ryan Ottley. The first arc of Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley's mind-blowing Hulk saga will reach its epic climax as Bruce Banner's control over Starship Hulk slips and something much worse takes the wheel. The new threat that emerges promises to smash the Hulk mythos to its core and will fuel Bruce Banner's rage for the foreseeable future. So we read the first issue, and basically Donny Cates has made it seem like Bruce Banner being in charge of the Hulk body is somehow a starship.
Yes.
From my understanding, it's basically just the way I make this look in my mind's eye is a starship. Other than that, it's like, just the Hulk.
Yeah, it's like a psyche thing where he's like, his experience is I'm kind of inside the Hulk piloting the Hulk, and I see out of his eyes, you know.
Yeah, it's like to me it read exactly like a Stephen King mind palace, being able to manifest an artifice for the facets of a psyche, which is in line with some old Hulk stuff.
Oh yeah, the Hulk's been
like Peter David had, there was the big door and everything, and someone was trapped behind the door while the other one was in front of the door. So this banner just kind of turned it into a bridge and an engine as opposed to a door and a vault, right? Yeah. Now, Noel, did you read Jason Aaron's run on Hulk?
More than half of it. Yeah.
Wasn't Bruce Banner the bad guy in that one too?
For the first 6 issues.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They keep doing this, making it like, oh, well, what if Bruce Banner? What if Hulk was protecting us from Bruce? Yeah, and I'm like, all right, we did that.
I think we talked a little while ago. We had talked when we were reading the first issue about. I said, is it the Hulk? Is it the classic Hulk that I want to see, or what? I forget exactly how he phrased it, but we're trying to nail down. What is that for me? What do I think is Hulk? And I think that's what it is. Because there's a lot of different Hulks that still feel like Hulk, right? Like what the Gladiator Hulk even still feels like the Hulk. When Bruce Banner is the bad guy, that's when it doesn't feel like the Hulk that I'm interested in reading, Right. That's the like, is that really a variation of it? Is Bruce Banner the bad guy? I'm cool with Hulk is not the bad guy. Yeah. And that's been generally the impression of Hulk, more or less, is that he's really not that bad of a guy. He's a good guy even. But now I didn't feel like this one was that way as much as issue 1 looks like it was going to lead into.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Please finish your thought, because I kind of agree.
He didn't seem like he was doing it out of evil, or even like calculating sort of, I'm the smart one and I'm going to do bad stuff because it's the right thing to do. It seemed a little less like that, a little more like, this is how I'm handling stuff now. But he still has the Hulk locked away, and it's not good.
Yeah.
But he just didn't seem as villainous or as bad as it was looking like he was painting him to be. And hopefully he will. You know, Hulk at the end is like, I'm sorry. And it looks like he was going to come to terms with him. So hopefully that's where that's headed in short order.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I look for, or I tend to overread these things sometimes, but I don't know if it's as simplistic as one of them being good or bad. Like the way that Banner has always functioned is as analytical as humanly possible, almost to a fault. And that's what made the Hulk. But him being the bad guy, I don't know. It's to me, it feels more like it's the same thing Reed Richards does. The curiosity begets tremendous problems, right? Like, but I mean, they're completely different characters, but it's the same kind of like mega scientist conundrum. Doctor Strange does it all the time too. He gets overzealous and just like causes a problem. Like,
yeah,
I almost feel like it's a genius issue more than it is the alter ego being a bad guy or a good guy, which honestly too, reading more than the first 6 issues of the Jason Aaron stuff, it was the same thing where they were separated, but that they were separated because, was it High Evolutionary? No, Dr. Doom made Bruce Banner, a body for Bruce Banner, and separated their psyches with a lobotomy.
Oh, neat.
So it was a false Banner.
Yeah.
That the Hulk killed at the end of that first arc.
Oh.
It wasn't really him.
I gotcha.
So like they keep kind of playing with the idea of the real danger is maybe the super intellect, but I don't know. So far, it hasn't been to an irredeemable level where Banner's a fucking garbage man.
And
I mean, he is
skirts the edge.
Well,
skirts the edge.
He is torturing the Hulk. He is torturing that, and it's, you know, I think Betty Brant, who's not actually there, is just another figment of Bruce's imagination, is there being like, you're torturing a baby. He's a baby and you're torturing him. Which, you know, when you think about it that way, it's like, oh, that's pretty bad. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of fucked up things have happened in the name of science. Let's just like, I don't like it's objectively horrific.
Yeah.
But from the perspective of the character, he's using it as a tool for better. So he just kind of keeps rationalizing it, which I think is a fascinating kind of conflict.
And he's also, you know, a lot of Bruce Banner's thing, especially in the earlier days, was the Hulk is this like burden that he carries.
It's a tumor, right? Yeah.
Right. Who like that can lead to massive destruction and who knows, potentially loss of life that he has to like watch himself for all the time. So they've definitely moved away from that, and I like it better having moved away, that there's a little more of an accord between them, and Hulk is not you know, Hulk is a little more complex and generally seen as being good, although he always was. He always just wanted to be left alone, but he tends to do less side damage now. When, you know, there's less of like Banner accidentally gets angry and half of a city is destroyed kind of stuff.
Which I will like, Brian, I know that you kind of skipped a few issues. They do touch on 2 things in this arc that I thought were kind of cool. This version of Banner that's inside, you know, piloting the Hulk very much does feel that this is kind of his turn to be a super scientist. And he's jumping at the chance, you know, using this body that I've never really been able to fully control before to go explore the multiverse, to go do this, to go do that, to, you know, bleeding edge and explore. So he does kind of come at this from the perspective of, I earned this, I'm owed this, this is my turn, which I kind of dig. Cause it's not wholly a fuck this monster. It's a, you had yours, let me have mine. let's go. And
yeah,
then
it's
also
true. Even when he
Yeah.
controlled the Hulk body in the Peter David run, it was ultimately revealed that was not that was a separate personality that wasn't Banner, and he hasn't really gotten to have fun with it.
What?
Yeah, The Professor Hulk, I think,
Genius Professor Hulk was not Bruce?
Later. I don't know that was in Peter David's run. That might have been someone later that was
a
like
retcon.
I don't remember if it was revealed ultimately in Peter David's run that even was another personality, not a merge, or if that was later. I don't remember. I know his run ended with like a potential future where Banner in Banner's form controlled the Hulk power. So I don't know.
The other part of it too, he has been kind of, and by he I mean the creative team. The creative team has been kind of slowly reintroducing the danger of the Hulk being let go. Like they've been teasing this Titan style character / personality facet of Hulk. I think 2 issues before this, you're kind of shown Banner waking up from something horrific, and it wasn't. It was just like in that most recent episodes of forget it. You just both personalities are like, that wasn't me. And it like kills Banner. Like they're slowly introducing that even the 2 primary personalities we know, it's more of a story to it, and there's a more dangerous kind of around the corner, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk's Hulk.
What if the Hulk had a
kaiju?
Hulk?
Kaiju Hulk is essentially what he is.
Yeah, he's like 30 feet tall.
But I did love this whole scene where he opens the engine room and he's just like, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
This was fun. I overall I really liked this arc, and I'm
looking forward to the next. This Thor Hulk thing looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Banner of War.
Yeah. Is it who's writing Thor right now? Who's writing this?
Both Donny Cates.
It's the same? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so I'm excited too.
With covers by Gary Frank. Ooh.
Oof. Love Gary Frank.
I think it's going to be like 5 issues total. Like it's a one shot, and then it's Thor Hulk. Yeah,
cool.
It's like 5 issues.
Yeah, man.
I'm
excited.
Yeah.
Before we get into the next book, in addition to liking and subscribing on YouTube, you can like and follow us on Facebook. We stream there. You can become a patron if you want to help us out with your dollars. You can go to patreon.com/JohnnyDestructo. Help us out that way. If that's your thing.
Yeah.
If it's not, friggin' just tell all your friends, have a big hangout, and put us up on your big TV and watch us while you have like a fivesome.
Yeah. Or if they
That's what the
could
kids
put the TV outside and if it's big enough, and let people just come and watch it.
I think
just have a big,
I think more than a foursome is technically an orgy.
Oh, is
I
it?
was asking Ray about that. We weren't sure.
Yeah, I mean, is that the kind of thing that there is a strict definition of? Then
I mean, I feel like
feels like an orgy number 5.
Yeah, like 2 couples, gotcha, foursome.
Yeah.
A 5th person, just mixes it up to where you don't know what pairs are occurring,
what's flying where,
right? So it's it's a little bit more chaotic.
You've got a lot going on that's in reach.
But then
different,
6, maybe that's a
septorgy. That's what I would
call it. Septorgy.
Yeah. Sepsum.
But I gotta feel like 5 is, if now we've gotten into orgy, it's a poorly attended orgy now.
Right.
Like it's an orgy, but I've seen better. People were busy. It was a Thursday night.
A bunch of people reported maybe and then didn't show up. Yeah.
You don't know how to plan for orgies like that.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Anyway, or you can just give us nice reviews on iTunes and all that sort of stuff.
Also, tell us what you think the number is for orgy.
Yeah.
Like, what's the bare minimum for orgy? I honestly think it's 5. I think 5
email
is
us
orgy.
Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right, Bolero number 4 from Image Comics by Wyatt Kennedy and Luana Vecchio. Devin's ex takes center stage. Stuck in the anti-door dimension, Natasha learns the mysterious origins of Capgrass and is forced to Capgras and is forced to confront hard truths about herself as we finally get the answer to Bolero's most burning question. What the fuck is this book about? No, that's not it. It's why did Nat and Devin break up? But my most burning question is what is happening? I am so confused by this issue. The first issue I got, I get this. I understand what's happening. And then she goes into the multiverse and she lives different lives, her different multiversal lives. By the way, Everything Everywhere All at Once is an amazing movie with Michelle Yeoh. 5 stars. It's a perfect film.
Nice.
Out of 5.
Cool.
Saw it last night. It's amazing. Anyway, multiversal queer sci-fi relationship book. It's very good. Until this issue when I just spent the whole time going, wait, how are we, where are, no, go.
I think I've been thinking about it for a couple days now because I also, issue 3 started to confuse me. And then this just doubled down on the confusion to the point where it's just like, I think the book was just saying, no, you're the fucking idiot.
Me.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Brian.
To me.
Yeah.
Why would they say that?
So I think I don't care. So I think this is what happened. Issue 3. So issue 1, Devin goes into the she chooses the door at the end. They introduce the multiverse. Boom. Issue 2, exploring the multiverse, making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again. Until Capgras like, hey, try something different. She does, and she meets this guy and spends 3 years with him. That goes into issue 3. She is in a 3-year mostly healthy relationship with this gentleman. She has a moment. She cheats on him with their mutual friend, who is the singer/rock star from the previous issues. After that happens, the boyfriend/husband, fiance person finds the key, the Capgras key, and goes through a door. When he goes through that's the end of the issue. When he goes through that door, this is where it's questioning for me. It's revealed that he was actually a variant of the original girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he was actually a variant of her, and that's, they were in love and happy. And she is there in that subspace with Capgras, and he is telling her stories of all of the other variants, and she is reliving moments from her original relationship with Devin, because now you're understanding that she was also traveling the multiverse at the same time that Devin was. They both made the same type of thing. And at the end of it, she decides to no longer travel and go back. Yeah.
At the end of this issue.
Yes, at the end of this issue. The other girl, not Devin, decides to stay where she is, which also then confused me again because she's not the dude. Right. She's back to who I forgot that gentleman's name.
William.
Thank you.
Which kind of because I also was confused with this issue. Same deal. 3 was fine, and then this one I'm like, what the hell is happening? And I'm cool with them not doing this, but the girl's name is Nat, I believe.
Oh.
One of their his name could have been Nate. And that would have been
Nathan or Nick or something.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe they thought that people would
or Gnort.
Yeah, it could have been Gnort, which
or
is
Tan.
A very common name.
Nat backwards.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was at this point. It just started to feel unnecessarily confusing.
Yeah,
and having the 2 Devins, like trying to figure out that there was the owl tattoo, which is like a connection between them, but also having when they go back through the door, being in their female form, I didn't realize that was the same one.
Yeah. Also,
I thought he was a variant of her, but not that variant of her.
Yeah. Also too, like if we are, the rules established in the first issue is that you can't go back to a body you've left.
Yeah.
But they choose not. It's identifies as she. She chooses not to continue on the journey with the keys and the doors.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes back. But do they show that she went back to being William? Or does she go back to...
I think because Devin goes back too. I think you can go back if you've just gone and seen Capcraw. You can't, like, if you go into another universe, that's it.
Oh, okay. So
I think so.
So that person is just now William, and he goes and lives his life. Done. That plot thread is over.
Oh.
All the Nat and Devin stuff we were seeing is from the OG relationship, them breaking up, which was overlaid on top of this. But no, because they talk at the end where both of them know that there's doors and, hey, two of them figured it out and are traveling together. Let's be happy for them. This doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, right. Because
every time I make sense of it,
yeah,
there's a plot thread that just doesn't work.
Because William was like, "Oh, I'm a traveler too. I'd really hope that you would mention it." I figure, and then right at the end, you would think that would be William,
unless William is not a variant of Nat and he's just another traveler, which means that all the travelers
tattoo. You know?
Yeah, are all the travelers just all related to each other in some sort of way?
Maybe.
Like, are they all just the same intertwined group?
Yeah. There's no reason for it to be this confusing.
Yeah,
I was all in.
Copy.
I was all in for the first couple of issues. I was like, oh, this is cool and innovative and fun, and tells a story I haven't seen yet. And now they're doing this, and it's just it feels like they're doing too much. And I was holding on by the skin of my teeth. My teeth are skinless now. I've got no skin on my teeth. I can't hold on. I've let go. I don't know what's happening. Honest to God, at the end of this issue was like, okay, this is the end of the series. The series is over. It was a 4-issue run. We're done. And then I was like, there's another issue coming? What?
See, I think in issue 5 could save this confusion. If
I hope so.
You get the story like laid out in issue 5, then this could all, in hindsight, be like, oh, that was what was happening, and confusing them, but fine.
I will say in this issue too, the lettering was mildly awful.
Oh my God! Look, I have it up on the screen right now. The lettering is so close. Each line is so close to each other that it's touching the top of the letters is touching the bottom of the letters above it.
I have it in print, and it's like, was there a file error and they just couldn't fix it? Like, it wasn't this bad, and it's every style of lettering, like the text boxes, not text boxes. Also, too, I don't remember if it was established when they're talking in purple text. What?
I didn't put too much stock into that. I just was like, oh, it's part of the art, I think. You know what else? Just looking through, I'm looking at a scene where Nat is talking to Capcraw, and then for one panel, it's Devin is talking.
Yes!
What was that?
I noticed that too.
Yeah. That's very, very confusing. Very confusing panel.
I hate that they've made this confusing.
Right there. Oh, that's okay. So
there it is.
That's this is weird. So
like another time
Nat and Capcraw are talking, and then they are talking about Devin. So if you see the talk box is actually like in the ether, they're talking about her, and it's kind of overlapping with her first visit there. It's very intentionally. It's
showing multiple travelers has made it pretty confusing.
This book, I've loved every issue up until now, but this whole issue now is like a hat on a hat, dude. It's layered on top of layers for no value. Yeah.
And with little introduction. I think they relied on the like mystique of multiple universes to throw you into something that you had no idea what was happening and figured that interest would carry you through, but it's not that new of a concept in the book anymore, and we should know what's happening. What's that?
Stay on this page. I was afraid you were going to do that. Go back to that.
Well, I skipped it because it was pretty explicit.
Oh, well. Oh.
Not the one where they're in a fight.
Which one?
Next page. This one.
The other explicit page. All right.
No. The one you were on where they're in a fight. That one. Stop. Hammer time. They black out. What I suspect is her dead naming Nat.
Yes.
And I thought that was I wondered about that.
Really,
I figured it was like an anti-trans comment.
They got in a physical altercation. She bashed her head, and the first thing that came out was the harshest thing you could say to somebody. Who's trans.
Same.
And the reaction, like this scene is indicative of why I have enjoyed the book, because all of these kind of like really uncomfortable altercations and experiences and relationship stuff, awesome. All of the overcomplicated multiversal bullshit, which was quaint at first, is now a detriment to these characters.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that it kind of pulls out.
I think it might. I think this might just be like a going wild, pulling back a curtain kind of thing, but not telling us what's behind the curtain. And I'm looking through it too, and I'm wondering if all of the different times we saw Devin with various Nats in the multiverse are this Nat. And we have been, but that could be revealed, and it would also make a lot more sense of this issue if that's the case, if they've been running into different versions of each other in other worlds. But we'll see. It's 5 total. We should check out the last one.
Yeah, we've done every issue.
We're in, because it's just like, even in air quotes failure, it's still an incredibly fascinating book. And I still will. This is every issue since number 1 has been kind of like top of the stack. I want to read it close to first.
And even the art, I would, I really like this like pastel, mystical kind of art style, and it goes a long way for the story that is muddled.
It goes a long way, but you know what? Because it is so specific, they could have easily helped us in storytelling by treating some things visually different than others, at least in a consistent visual language kind of a way,
Yeah.
Agreed.
75% on every point, as opposed to which just like equals to a C-.
Yeah. Vampire Slayer #1 from Boom Studios by Sarah Gailey and Irene Flores. After years of fighting against the forces of evil, Buffy Summers finds herself succumbing to the burden of bearing the Slayer mantle. What? To help his Slayer, Rupert Giles is willing to risk a return to chaos magic, and with Willow's help, they attempt a spell to remove the trauma from Buffy's psyche?
What?
The effects backfire, though, and leave Buffy unable to remember her past or her purpose. Oh, is that
what was happening in this book?
With Sunnydale under attack, a new Slayer must rise to protect it, while Buffy's friends race against the clock to restore her true self.
What?
Oh, cool. I didn't know any of that. This is a #1 issue called The Vampire Slayer from the world of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. In the beginning, it says, into every generation a Slayer is born, a chosen one. They alone will wield the strength and skill to fight the vampires, demons, and forces of darkness, to stop the spread of their evil and the swell of their numbers. They are the Slayer. And this is an entirely new universe. That is the only information we get before the giant crab shows up on the very first page of the story.
Which is also confusing in itself, because it says in bold, and this is an entirely new universe. So the fact that things are not as you expect them to be should not be deeply questioned. Like things are different. They've just done a reality where things turn out differently. And so Buffy's not the Slayer this time. All right, let's
It took me a while to even realize that Buffy wasn't the Slayer.
Me too.
That it was Willow.
Yeah.
And even then I had no idea why. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is just another reality. This is another multiverse universe where Willow instead of Buffy, Willow is the Slayer. Okay, I got that.
Crazy multiverse. Yeah.
But other than that, I had no idea of any of the stuff that the solicitation just told me just now.
No, not at all. I figured
that
Buffy
being
would become
said,
the magic one.
Yeah. That being said, this was fine. This was a fine Buffy tale where Willow is the Slayer. This is, I didn't have any problems with it. But boy, could have used all of that information at some point in this story. Yeah. Noel, what did you think?
I think this is a perfect example of how to write for trade and not comics. This is a terrible single issue.
Yeah.
But it might be a really fun arc because they don't give you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it hinted at none of that.
No.
There's
in
hindsight, it kind of makes sense.
Did the spell also make Buffy unable to understand what a flamethrower is?
Right?
Yeah.
Which one's the flamethrower? Is it the tank with a picture of flame on it, or is it the axe?
What was that about?
Right.
So weird. I forgot about that until I just saw it.
Also,
Willow, think it was all the swords?
Even Willow as the Slayer acts nothing like Willow at all.
Yeah.
There's no struggle with the self that makes Willow a appealing and recognizable character or one that you identify with, identifiable character. She's just cocky now. I would love to have read a story of that character having power that doesn't corrupt her, because we've seen her with power that corrupts her and she's no longer approachable and nice, but just that super strong still would have been more enjoyable than this, because she's just kind of a cocky jerk. I'm
time to slay.
Yeah, that's not Willow, that's Buffy.
Willow.
Yeah.
So all they did was change their hair color and change their names and made Buffy an idiot.
Yeah.
I didn't like this.
Furthermore, was I guess that's the Willow of this universe is that, but she also uses magic. She's kind of the Slayer and the magic user at one time.
Yeah.
But reading the solicitation, they were those characters before, and this is like a spell gone bad.
Yeah.
But not that Willow is turned into Faith.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Xander picking up this thing where he's like, didn't I say not to touch that? He's like, technically, I'm not touching it. I mean, Xander does screw around, but that seems above and beyond for I'm just going to pick up this crab orb.
Through the modern lens, revisiting the show, Xander's a bit of a dumb fuck. He's not a very good character.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty awful. But it's just through a modern lens. In the early late 90s, early 2000s, that was charming. Yeah. So to air quotes fix that in the most recent comics, they superimposed some of Spike and Angel's stories onto him, where they essentially turned him into a vampire immediately, in issue 4. And then introduced other characters. So they swerved and handled that almost like incel adjacent behavior to an actual lost soul, which was incredibly effective and really, really interesting to read. Now he's just back to being a dipshit, and I'm reminded how much I don't care about that characterization anymore. It's not cute. He's just, I'm not touching it. They told you not to touch it. Well, technically, I'm not touching it. Fucking, you're a dummy. I hate it.
And I mean, there's serious danger involved. You know what I mean? This is not
I hate it.
A fun. But people in TV shows like that frequently do stupid things that no one in their right mind would do. When the expert magic guy is don't touch that magic thing, and you're I'll bring it home.
I also to be fair, I also kind of dislike that. The idea of conflict being explicitly not doing what you're asked. When I was younger, it didn't bother me as much. Now that I'm older, it's just want to flick ears. Stop it. That's stupid. Don't do that. Like, walk away. Yeah, I didn't enjoy this, unfortunately. I was really excited for it, but
yeah, I mean, the whole thing is them just not telling you what's happening. Other than that, I didn't have any serious problems with it, but I also wasn't particularly interested in picking up the next issue.
But even by that though, like I mean, we're reading single issue comics.
Yes.
If they wanted to tell a graphic novel story, then print it as a graphic novel. But as a complete single issue, I still don't even think this hits the mark. This is like barely a 0 issue, right? This is the opening of a comic.
Yeah, and even I mean, for such a major status quo change, it is like a 0 issue. And then this thing, there's also this amulet that they activated at some point in recent history, but they can't use it yet because they don't know what it is. It feels like there's something going on big that happened that you ought to know about, which I guess is this spell, but they don't talk about it. But then it turns out that the amulet is like for the crab. That it's like the counter to this giant crab.
They made reference. Weird. They made like oblique reference to this.
Yeah.
This amulet fixing things.
Right.
But because of the way that the issue is, we don't know what the fuck they're fixing.
Right. And it kind of seemed like
unless you read the solicitation.
Right. And like the amulet's like a more general kind of thing, and like you're not ready to use that. No, I need it to take this crab on. And then it seems like the perfect counter to the crab. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It was all right. What's up next?
Yeah. It's one that's even better. John Carter of Mars, #1. Dynamite Comics, written by Chuck Brown with art by George Comadeus.
I mean, it was
Rock Me Comadeus. And it is the year 1919. An asteroid. Oh, is that what year it is? All right. It is the year 1919. An asteroid of pure ninth hurtles towards Earth. Its teeming power slowly melds the people of Earth to Mars.
What?
And Mars to Earth. John Carter is ripped. John Carter is ripped from everything he knows, powerless and confused, suddenly in battle with Martian apes in Virginia. I wasn't going to read this book. And then I told Noel, fine, I'll read John Carter on Mars. And then I did it.
Stood by your word.
And I regret it.
Like a real John Carter of Mars.
Yeah. I have no idea. All right, I have a question. So, his name was Captain John Carter. He was born and raised in Virginia. He fought for the South during the Civil War.
Yeah.
Great. He made his fortune during the gold rush of 1888. Blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So then, for some reason, he winds up out of, what is he? Is he coming out of heaven? John Carter's eternal reward.
No.
Right?
So they don't tell you anything about John Carter, which is...
It's like a sequel to the book, by the way, which I didn't know, but go on.
Yeah.
Nope. Me neither.
So that is a detriment to anyone who is not already familiar with John Carter of Mars.
Or at least has seen
people.
The movie.
Almost everyone.
I mean, yes. I guess so. I mean, it's an incredibly popular series of books, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I have read it and enjoyed it. And so I was like, oh, cool, some John Carter. This is cool. But JD, he's kind of got an Adam Strange thing going on, where he transports to and from Mars. I think like a real William Nilly. It's just whenever it happens, it happens.
You piece of shit.
I would like to use that as a nom de guerre sometime.
William Nilly?
William Nilly? Yeah. That would be a fun one.
William H. Nilly. But what is John Carter's eternal reward?
I think it was just he finally got to hang out on Mars forever without popping back in.
Oh, I thought he was dead and in heaven with his family.
And then he gets to join him in heaven, Egypt style.
Question. Brian, clarify something for me, because if it's been a long time since I explored the books and seen the movie. The way that he's transported to Mars is almost like an intergalactic telegram, where it's exchanging physical space, right?
Yeah.
So
I remember
he
in the movie. Yeah.
He disappears. He disappears, changing physical space, and then he's able to actually stay on Mars, start a family, be with his wife. Everything is great. He's a reformed, happy man. But something else is activated on Earth that rips him back. And then it just becomes a how do I get back there? What this book is postulating was that whatever's happening near Earth, and it sounds as though in the solicitation it's this meteorite, is almost spontaneously activating populations to swap between Barsoom, which is Mars, and Earth,
which is Jarsoom.
And then an invasion. Tarsum, right?
Something like that. I don't remember that, but I from this comic I remember it. I don't remember.
So he was ripped back to Earth in his body, and he's just like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah.
Everyone thought he was dead forever, but then he realizes, or you find out that it's been happening, and now there are Martians on Earth, and then Earthlings stranded on Mars. I think that's a cool setup.
Yeah, I think this book
doesn't really do the legwork.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
A character says that I had no idea when this took place because everyone's dressed up like they're in the Civil War.
Right.
But my wife is a Civil War historian.
Yeah.
Leading me to believe that's something that someone in the future would say. So I was like, why are they dressed up like Civil War soldiers if his wife is a Civil War historian? What is I could not place what was happening at any point in this book time-wise.
You could be a real-time historian, can't you?
I think so.
You're just protecting and claiming chronicling historian.
Yeah,
but yes,
it is a weird way to refer to something like that.
And I read the beginning. I knew that it took place towards the end of the Civil War, or after the Civil War, actually, but just like very right after. That first time we see Earth with those soldiers talking, I went back and was just like, is there a date here? And there's not. It just tells you where they are. And I was like, that's fucking annoying. Because I wanted to know, like, he's been missing for years.
Yeah.
How many years has he been missing?
Yeah.
I know that this is, those are Northern soldiers. Those are Northern uniforms, but racism is still happening. It's still right. The early.
Yeah. The Northern armies weren't super enlightened either about it.
No.
Right.
So it's just, there's a lot going on. And then also
these buildings.
Yeah. They are weird looking.
I guess they make sense, but like for some reason that those read as like modern metropolitan areas to me, just the way they're drawn.
All right.
I do like, and this is supposed to be, a farmer on Mars and a couple of like a Martian family, like at a watering hole on Earth. The geography is a little all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can see also like having. What did you like? What style?
I really like the art style.
I liked it too. Yeah. It's got like a light cartoony thing that isn't. Like John Carter's illustration wasn't always to my taste, and some of it was a little borderline manga, which is not an art style that I usually get into. But I liked it. I can see JD, you having raised your issues with it. Those are extremely valid issues of this book. Like, it didn't hit me at all because I was like, oh, John Carter, let's see what's up. I haven't seen any John Carter stuff in a long time. But they do not tell you who John Carter is in any way. Like, one page of just John Carter did
previously.
This. Yeah, previously in John Carter's existence.
Kevin asked, shouldn't the Martians be weakened on Earth?
No.
I also, no rules apply because the abilities that John had on Mars seem to be going in and out, and he has them here on Earth.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
Also, what are his abilities beyond leaping?
I think it's mostly leaping.
He's just he's less physically dense, so it's just like leaping and agility. He doesn't have actually he does.
He's
kind
a
of
little
have
super strength, I think, because
Yeah.
like Mars has lower gravity, so he's got
so he can
lift
just
things more easily.
You know, like he could pick up he could swing a boulder around.
Yeah,
but he can't topple a building. Yeah,
I'll take your word for it because it's not in this book.
No, this is just in the original books.
Yeah.
I had totally forgotten that he could do any of that actually in the books. It's not, as I recall, really that big a part of it, but
this leans too heavily on the IP and not enough on introducing new readers.
Yeah.
I will say that. Now, I am one of the 6 people who actually really enjoyed the movie.
I liked it too. Yeah.
I've heard it's very good, but it was just mismarketed.
You honestly, you should watch it. It still holds up. It's actually pretty darn good.
And it's the John Carter story. It's not this. It's his first adventures on Mars.
Yeah, and this and I remember that movie pretty well and fondly. So this reads like other than the last 5 minutes of that movie, this reads like a continuation of that, and I was totally fine.
Yeah, I remember being impressed. You said it was like a telegram, and I don't know how much of what is in the movie was in the books. I just don't remember. But I remember being impressed that they're talking about transmitting information in a way that is not dissimilar from how like Star Trek transporters work or other later sci-fi works. And even now that could something like that happen in the real world? And yeah, you can draw that from a telegram, but it's pretty impressive.
All of these, I mean, there are papers written about these novels being the impetus of all modern science fiction.
Oh, that's neat.
Like,
I do have something to say.
Star Wars
you guys kind of glossed over what Kevin had said. Shouldn't the Martians on Earth be super weak? In the same way that John is stronger on Mars than he is here, wouldn't the pressure in the atmosphere and the gravity of Mars make it so that when they come here, they're like, hey, it's hard to lift my feet?
Well, I mean, my answer to that was that it doesn't necessarily make sense in this. Well, not necessarily, because a mystery in this book is that John still retains some of his abilities on Mars while now on Earth.
Did you say that? I'm sorry.
There's something else going on. And coming from this illicit, I tend to believe it's some sort of quasi-science mystical explanation because of this meteorite that's in close proximity of Earth, right?
Meteorites.
Ninth metal or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Meteorites are always doing stuff.
Yeah. They're always doing
stuff. I enjoyed reading this. I think this could have been and could be fun, but it is not friendly to anybody that is at least passively familiar with John Carter or the John Carter stories. Yeah. Now, I could totally see reading this and being like, what is that about? And then go at least reading the Wikipedia page of John Carter because it's enticing enough. But
I wonder why not just do a John Carter
for you
comic?
Yeah, for me. As the person here who's unfamiliar with John Carter of Mars, nothing about this made me go, ooh, I should go read up on this character that they've told me nothing about. I was just like, this is annoying. I wish they had done some work.
This seems like the perfect opportunity, too, for Dynamite to do like 2 parallel books or something, which I think is a kind of thing that they do, where there's just like a John Carter story, even if it's not any of the original ones, but just more like the original ones.
They should have adapted. They should have adapted like the first book.
Sure.
As well as this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Dynamite's been making John Carter of Mars comics, haven't they?
They've been doing the Deja
Torres
books about his wife. Yeah, I've never touched those. Just all seem like cheesecakey books, so I don't really care.
Yeah, same.
But we thought the same of Red Sonja and Vampire.
True, but then I look at the writing and art teams on those books, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Same with their Betty Page adventures and their. I don't care.
Is this
how was the Rocketeer?
It was fun.
Was it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Am I the only one that read it?
Yeah, I started to read it, and there was a time crunch that week, and I was like, "Which one am I not going to do?"
But that was IDW, but it was hella fun. Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry.
Are the Martian Chronicles where green Martians come from, as a matter of fact. I think it might be.
Yeah, it's green and
like
red.
the
Martians.
idea
It's
that
like
Martians are green. There are other hues of Martian, too, that he runs into eventually.
Yeah, it was a caste system on Mars, but like the red Martians were much more humanoid and royalty, whereas the green Martians are like, the desert people.
Yeah, and they have 4 arms.
4 arms and tusks.
Yeah.
Played by Willem Dafoe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the movie.
I forgot that.
So good.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's neat.
Yeah. They get a little formulaic after a while, as those old serialized stories sometimes did, but they're worth it. They're really, especially like the first half of them or whatever it is, are good. They're good stories.
I heard sad news today.
Oh.
And it depressed me a little bit. I read about the movie The Phantom with Billy Zane.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how poor Billy Zane, they had a muscle suit lined up for him.
Oh.
And he was like, no. And he worked out for an entire year.
Oh.
And he was so buff that they were like, we don't need this muscle suit. Isn't that sad? To put a year of your life to make The Phantom, and then and then it turns out you made The Phantom.
Oh.
It's a bummer.
I mean, he was ripped as shit too, though. So
yeah, it had other benefits.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I'm sure the paycheck was worth it.
Well,
it made me sad.
I want to go back and watch The Phantom now. And imagine the whole time
was cool.
Imagine the whole time that it's Bruce Campbell, because he was this close to getting the role.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, it was in If Chins Could Kill. He actually did like 3 screen tests. He did chemistry tests.
Wow.
He was Bruce Campbell's history in Hollywood is
so
like
close.
The consistent, the eternal, almost leading man. He was up for so many things and was like in the room for so many things and just never got him.
That sucks.
And he kind of has that quality for whatever reason. Like I'd love to see him in more roles, but he does have that.
He's not a great actor though.
Have you ever seen him given the chance?
Right. He's a great comedic actor.
Yeah.
But anytime he has
Briscoe
to do
County
that.
Jr. I mean, back when it was on, I haven't seen it since then. But Briscoe County Jr. was my first exposure to him, and probably to the idea of steampunk. But
JD, we cut you off, JD. What was your full thought?
I think that was it. That the Phantom sucked.
No, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. I've never seen Briscoe County Jr. And I'm trying to remember a time where he was supposed to be serious and was convincing.
X-Files.
I don't remember a time when he was supposed to be serious.
X-Files, in a lot of Briscoe County, like it was a funny show, but there's a shit ton of heavy stuff in it. Yeah, no, he could do it. If you're a comedic actor, you could do drama. He just hasn't had the opportunity. And at this point too in his career, he's like, fuck it.
He's doing his thing. He's got his thing that he does. I mean, and he's great. And I check out something that if I heard he was in it. Oh, Kevin
I like him. Yeah.
I understand.
Anyone can cry on screen, but can you realistically wrestle with a plastic deadite with your head up a cadaver's anus? No, not every actor can.
Who here hasn't?
Could Sir Laurence Olivier do that?
Couldn't do it. I don't think he could do it. I don't think he could sell that. No. I don't think he could.
Kevin is in the chat saying the Phantom was dope to me back in the day. I'm assuming he means the movie was good, not that he met the Phantom and that the Phantom was nice to him. And Alec Baldwin, The Shadow.
I love that.
So
movie.
Good.
Yes.
Is it?
Across the board, that movie's awesome.
It was great.
It makes a lot of narrative leaps that are incredibly stupid, but tonally, the movie's fucking awesome. I mean,
I always loved The Shadow. From getting like a cassette tape of the radio show back in the day and practicing my menacing.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
The Shadow knows.
The Shadow knows. I love The Shadow. Russell Mulcahy's
Right.
Shadow.
Right way.
Oh,
yeah, it's under here, and he with powers of
the power to cloud men's minds.
He's able to change the shape of his face so it's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
I think that's cool as shit. Like he puts
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
Handkerchief on and makes you think he's got a big ass nose and a weird brow.
Yeah. And then had like multiple secret identities. Which over
Lamont
the years,
Cranston.
Lamont Cranston is the only one I remember. But like
Tim Curry's in that movie too. God damn it, that movie's awesome. I'm watching it.
I do like
Tim
Curry. He is.
I have it on VHS and Blu-ray.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I would like to borrow
He's
the
got a
Blu-ray
cool
or the
look.
VHS.
I wonder if it's streaming anywhere. Probably. Is.
Probably. It's a Universal picture. It's a Universal picture.
It's a picture.
All right, guys.
Like...
Yes.
No.
Bye. Time to go.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. This was lovely. Thank you for hanging out in the chat, Mars and Kevin and other people, Hal and Action Figure Expert, all of y'all down there. Thank you so much. We love you. And we will see you probably next Monday at 9 p.m. Join us there. That's friggin' it.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Toodles.